he puts this there.
You've got your book. Your book now with the claims in the book.
Equatorial value that I don't claim. Oh, when the Globers claim it, it's fine. It's fair game.
You have
no suggestions that they're using pi with a value of 2 when the Globe dickhead morons use the equatorial value we measure Earth flat for.
Well, I can lay out so you can debunk it.
Time's a charm. I don't have an equatorial value. That's the retards at your side, Elder Bev. The retard globe believers with their equatorial value. That's them with their problem, mate.
He just says 10.
No, you said it. You said it was the same as the globe Earth measurement.
I heard equator 3 minutes ago from a ball believer. You don't seem to be having a go at them now, do you, Elder Bev?
I'm talking about you and your numbers, Nathan.
You're talking about me. Oh, right, the equator's not my value. I definitely heard some retards right next to you in this panel that absolutely, without question, claimed it about 4 minutes ago. Doesn't seem to be a problem when they claim the equatorial value, which requires flat Earth prerequisite measurements, directionality and distance for a radius.
Dictate. The
so can I lay out the argument that you need to
that the equator must be over
because you've got
2,000 kilometers.
You all
just
think
over me, just talk through me like a little girl. Just stutter.
Being a little girl isn't you being a retard, according to Elderbev. He seems to say that you guys think pi equals 2.
I never said that too. He's lying again.
He's calling you retards.
Liar.
Meanwhile, the radial value you extract is flat and linear in miles.
Lying, Oakley. You're just barefaced lying.
Yeah,
Barefaced lying about you these retards pi equals 2. No, you definitely put that card to people who drive an equatorial value.
You talked over me so nobody can actually hear what I'm saying.
That's your card that you put at their door. My bad, my door, when it's not my pay. When it is actually at the doorstep of somebody claiming it, you don't seem to have a pie. Do you, Elder Bev?
That's okay.
I know you're scared of me, Nathan, but let somebody else play it out.
You call these retard idiots with their pie that you say they extract to equaling 2 with their equatorial value, you think they're dipshits for using? It's not my claim.
You've got it wrong. You've got it wrong. You don't know what you're
ago, we had explicit claims of the equator. Now I want to interview all them idiots to their faces for their use of this value they claimed that requires a flat plane to derive it.
Yeah, okay. So we're talking about flat Earth measurements.
Oh, we're hearing this guy
from the equator to the North Pole.
Call him a retard.
Can you shut the fuck up and let somebody speak?
Oh, you mute me. Stick me on mute if you can't cope with how flat Earth is measured.
Stop me on mute. Terrified. Nathan Oakley's terrified. Terrified, Nathan Oakley is.
He's heard the argument before, hasn't he?
What they are,
that's got to be why.
No, he's scared to look at it.
It's their equatorial value, mate. You can have a go at them or what? What, their maths for their equator? You're going to call them stupid for?
No, you and your maths.
It's not my maths, mate. Oi, wankers! This guy seems to be putting your equatorial value at my doorstep. Didn't you all recognise how non-globe shaped the world is? Because this guy's going to call you a wanker for it, with your pi equaling 2. According to him, for your derived equatorial value, he thinks you're an idiot for.
10th man gave it to you, remember?
I'm not 10th man. We just established it a second ago when I got rumpus tore shit by you.
But you
couldn't shut me out. No, it came from map makers and cartographers when they measured linear distances.
On the back of 10th man, didn't you?
10th man's not a cartographer.
No, he gave you all the pictures, though.
Yeah, you bet he will. I
can explain it to you, Nathan, and then you can wreck me in front of your audience showing how
linear distance measurements on maps are, or how flat azimuth is when I'm asked about directionality.
Or just run from it. But you could wreck me on this. You could just go, here's his argument, here's why it's wrong, but you don't seem to want to hear it. I would love to lay it out.
He's asking about an equatorial value that's derived with flat Earth elevation angle measurements from a planar surface to minus from 90 and times by 60, the minimum value that gives you your equatorial value, leading him to tell me when I summarise your position, how pi equals 2, according to your dipshit value you derive for your dipshit equator, measured off a flat Earth with elevation angles. There you go, done.
No, this is
you won't converse. You'll pretend my argument is stupid because it came out of your mouth.
When he takes about the equatorial radial value as pi equals 2, yeah, he thinks they're all fucking retards, doesn't he?
Just you.
Yeah.
Just me. I haven't got an equatorial value, dipshit.
Just you. You're that. Not for you. I think you'll find you'll be calling these wankers idiots with their pi equals 2. You claim they have.
And so the
No,
approximate
you have.
distance from the
You have.
equator
I
to
didn't
the
get to
North
thank you,
Pole
by the way,
is about
for the comma in the wrong
10,000
place. First part of the book. Easily missed, given the amount of times I read it. Thanks, I got it updated. Very useful for seeing who's stolen my book.
Yeah, just listen from 33 minutes. FED 2316 from 33 minutes when Nathan he confirms that the flat Earth equator is the same as the globe, 24,101 miles, and refracted curvature confirms it with him. We have the data.
The data for the
Thank
globe.
you, John. Thank you.
These traders just
No,
do you?
from you,
And wait,
from the
you
flat,
call them out for being stupid.
Earth data.
Is it just my equator, or is it the dickhead that claimed it about 6 minutes ago?
I can give you a bunch of ways
you
to
get that?
come up with a rough indication of the equator. But I can give you a bunch of ways.
That?
FED
You're going to call him a
2316,
retard,
Nathan.
He's claiming the equator, my friend. You're going to call him out?
No, don't blame me. Don't blame me because you're losing. Don't blame me.
I think you'll find this wanker.
I'm not your scapegoat.
Elder Bev is going to start calling you out for your pi that he thinks equals 2 based on your equatorial derivation.
No,
you stupid retards with a globe.
Just for you.
Just for me? That's not my equator. Fourth time I've told you today.
Yeah.
Well, there's some ways that you can work it out.
You're going to call him out for the retard you see him as? Guys, in this panel, these globe-believing dipshits, Elder Bev knows how stupid you are.
Well, reality has dimensions, and if you don't have dimensions of reality, your argument is invalid.
You've got dementia.
So true.
Describing pi equals 2 when they put an equatorial value at your doorstep.
Hey, to be fair, he said reality has dimensions. Yeah, and those are.
Oh, I misheard him. Dementia, I heard. Talking about Elder Bev.
Yeah, Neil got dementia.
So are you saying there's...
we've got an equatorial value on the table. It didn't come from me, though. You're going to call them out for their stupidity?
Yes, you have.
Sure.
You are?
Yeah. FED 2316.
Sorry, talking about
33 minutes.
Yeah,
listen.
3 seconds ago. Yeah, it had
so
the
when
word
you
globe.
confirm that the equator is 24,901 miles.
Is that mine?
Same as the globe, you said.
Radial value in kilometres.
Yes, you claimed it. You were very proud. You said, yes, they're flat Earth measurements. Very proud.
Equatorial values, then?
No, just you, Oakley, calling you out.
Oh, sorry, it's not mine. I didn't claim equator. I'm pretty sure this is being recorded. Everybody in the audience realizes how terrified you are, and the people around you.
About what we're talking about.
Not at all.
How you think they're stupid. Now, you might have attempted to put this equatorial value at my doorstep for about 4 straight weeks, but the people who've actually claimed it have been heard claiming it. Now, the audience is going to be questioning why you're calling them out on it when it's not my value.
I've given the timestamp, Oakley. 23:16, 33 minutes.
I think not.
Yes, you you confirm, and it's 24,901 miles. Yes.
He's about to call them all morons.
If you don't know that, you don't have an argument. If you don't know that, then your argument is invalid.
You're a retard. You're equatorial value.
Yeah, what is it?
Then
if there's a distance, what is it?
In the book,
he relates it to flat, and there must be a distance around the circular equator.
Did you hear that?
There you go, the biggest circle on planet
Earth. Make sure you know exactly how retarded this man is, Edebev.
Tell me.
Does he ever argue anymore?
Can you break it down, Oakley?
Just do this.
Oakley, hang on. Break it down. Break it down where pi equals 2.
And linear distances as per the maps. At that point, there is no argument. Earth measured flat in all circumstances.
Listen, boy.
Whether or not this man thinks you're a retard, I can confirm it. He's attempted to me with your dumb assertions of equatorial values for quite a number of weeks. But now here we are with equator, end quote, you. And how stupid Elder Bear knows you are.
That's all right. We know the distance.
Break it down. The pi equals 2, Oakley. Go on.
Elder Bear calls you a stupid retard and says you think pi equals 2. That's okay. Oh my God, what a masochist.
He's like a child. He's like a little child in a playground.
I've got a horizontal azimuthal directionality on my side. I've got flat Earth measured distance on my side. It's also used by my opponents when they derive radial values in linear distances.
Yeah. What's your radial value?
So your only argument really is if linear distance, then flat, right?
Do you want to spurg out at the same time?
What linear distances mean.
Do you want to spurg out at me at the same time, or what?
It's just because you measured something linearly, therefore flat Earth. That's it, right? That's the whole argument.
No, this
as
is
far as I
measured
can
flat.
tell.
Not that complicated, mate. Like when you asked about azimuth, not that complicated. You using it?
I didn't.
Or you didn't ask about north, south, east, west. Yeah, you did.
No, didn't.
No. Okay, so you're relinquishing your question about Australia then?
No, I'm trying to make a pretty clear question, but I'm not sure you're clear on what
No,
the
I heard
question
your
is.
question, mate. It's just this bird.
Okay, can you show me that you've understood it?
Flat Earth was measured in azimuth. That's
Just
what you did.
interruption and stutter. Interruption
What's
and
the question?
stuttering,
I
Nathan.
feel wrong. Do you getting interrupted, you girly little twat? Am I
for
fucking lost, mate?
little
He's asking
diddums.
me about directionality, specifically
No.
north, south,
No.
east, west,
No.
with respect
No.
to projections of Australian mapping. I heard his question. I can summarise it. Meanwhile,
Summarise
you
it.
don't like how flat your question revolves around Earth being, because azimuth is a direction in the horizontal, and is the distances you asked about. On the maps, they're flat. Knew we'd get there eventually. It only took
Did you know that
9 attempts.
Yeah, it's not the question. The question is
Yeah.
more about
Did you know? Did you know that in Australia?
We've got two people spurging out at once, mate. We've got the guy that thinks you're a retard for your equator, and you simultaneously spurging at once.
Not at all. You're lying. You're lying.
I wouldn't be casting
You're lying.
Spurgy stones.
Nathan,
I'm
wait,
definitely not lying. You're definitely spurging to the top of each other. You're clambering over each other.
Nathan, just one
And my
second.
flat Earth
Nathan,
measurements you
one
put into me in
second.
azimuth and direction
Nathan,
and
one
distance.
second.
He won't stop
Chaos.
you.
You won't stop.
Stop
It's
what?
really
Pointing out how
chaos.
flat measured distances and
Radio-
He's just talking to his
value.
audience. That's all. Yeah, he
they're
just
part of the
wants to, wanted to sound. It's just like him, just him.
Nathan, as a suggestion, if you're talking to your audience, you can mute this side so it's not interrupting.
Yeah, but you need to
Number
get
one,
concession.
can you please do that? At least it's
You're asking
audio
for
chaos.
I've
Yeah,
been
it's
put.
Audio chaos. Oh my
I've
god.
got third guy talking.
Yeah, it is
at me.
audio chaos.
It's only audio chaos
Audio
because
chaos.
he's
We've got one guy
This is a
talking to his
one-sided
audience.
argument.
Very,
Not
very
here. It's
disrespectful
not in this room.
I've
to
got one
the
man.
rigs.
I'm hearing 3 of
So-
you.
Yeah, so
Nathan, it's
you'd
audio
like to
chaos.
definitely-
Nobody can hear
3 men
anything.
all at once.
You-
You're going to blame the audio chaos on me? No, that's all right. I've got an
Yes.
audience to appeal to.
Yeah.
These 3 men
Yeah,
all
yeah.
spurting out
Nathan,
and
no,
use
no,
flat
you
Earth measurements
can't
of azimuth and
you
distance.
can mute yourself on this end. Speak to your audience.
You
Mute
can
yourself.
take 3
Put-
men
put
at the same
me-
time.
Hey, robot, mate, you're adding to
It's
the
good
audio
for your
chaos.
audience as for us.
Mike, while I
Nathan,
point out
it's better
flat Earth
than
measurements
sides.
of azimuth.
Oh boy, Nathan. If you mute yourself
my
or you're
name,
trying to talk to your audience, it might be much easier. It's better for your audience, it's better for us to listen to. That's what I'm saying.
What's my fucking audience? How many people have you got subscribed watching, dickhead?
You
How big's
Millions.
your
He doesn't
audience?
care.
okay,
Give a
you don't
conversation.
need to put your
Leave him,
perspective.
leave him. He
Nathan,
doesn't
I've
care.
been doing this 12 years.
He's
I think I
just
need
saying
your
game
advice.
tip.
Good for you.
Easy.
Good
What
for
are you
you.
talking about?
He's been
Good
doing
for
it for
you.
years and he's still
You don't
shit.
use
Speaking of
linear
my
inches to
audience,
measure your
I have to
biceps.
tell my
You
audience
don't
how this
use
man's
linear
question that opened
inches
this
to measure your
discussion,
fat
and
waistline.
resulted in 3 men spurging at me, revolved around
Yeah.
having azimuthal directionality, horizontal, and linear distances, horizontal. Earth's measured flat for what's been put to me. Now we're on to third guy. No concession yet, bunch of girls.
That's okay.
I
We
just want one
know
answer to the main
distances aren't
question.
linear because we know you can measure your own fat weights.
Right? Yeah, azimuth's flat, mate. When are you going to concede, you big girl?
I just like as much as I know, the point I'm making is pretty simple.
Right, while I'm here,
Which
I
is
will
just this:
reduce
it
you
is
to a
circles have a
stuttering mess.
center.
You're
and
using flat Earth
centers-
directionality, you
Yeah, it's not really
retard.
working though. You're just talking over me. You're just not
Really?
listening.
Well, that's being a flat
Pretending
direction.
if you don't hear the question, that will be the same as answering it. and
That'll
debunking
be
it.
you stuttering at me, you pathetic little gimp.
Stutter
Yeah,
much.
I stuttered
Yeah, he
slightly.
does.
I'm really sorry about that.
Azimuth flat.
But could you
That's
answer the
about
question about
directionalities
circles and the
Australian
value of
mapping.
pi?
I can steel man your argument. Meanwhile, the direction you asked about is flat.
Go for
It's
it.
flat.
Steel man my argument.
Yeah, that's right, it's flat.
Bullshit. You
So
can.
there's no
Bullshit you can.
argument. He's asking about flat Earth directionality.
You're a
I've
halfwit.
now
I couldn't
repeated
steel man
that
it. Go on.
11
Incoherent.
times. 2
Go on,
eggshells. Now we've had 3,
Steel man it.
including Rob, 4 men spurg through this, but we're not hearing eggshells.
We're the ones
Steel
spurging,
man the
surely.
fact
Yeah,
that he's
Nathan,
using
you
flat
won't
Earth
shut the
directionality.
fuck up.
No, he's not doing that. He's just telling me that I'm talking through him like a girly little bitch who can't cope.
You're
Oh,
complaining.
so
That's something,
people
mate. Let's just
aren't
get to the
allowed to talk
discussion.
through you, but
That's
you
what
are
I'm
allowed
doing.
to talk
You're
through ours
one
because you're a
pair of
hypocrite.
Scrambling
just
to
deal
get
with
on the bed,
Pi, the value of pi.
Don't
right?
swear on my show, bro.
calling them cucks. There's 2 of them at once. What do you want?
How many
You just
guys
deal
can you
with the
handle at
argument
once?
of the value of
Now there's
pi?
3. Now there's 3 cucks on the bed. Tell me not to swear.
Did you shut up and have a combo?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What, have a
yes,
combo
sir.
about azimuthal
wreck me in
horizontal
front of your
directionality
audience.
only acquirable on a flat Earth? We
Oh,
could.
that's preaching.
It's just been
That's
the
not
12th time with Eggshells not conceding that which he put to me with flat Earth prerequisites in the question. He hasn't conceded that yet.
Can we talk
I mean,
about
no,
the
I
book?
pre-bunked it. I said, hang on, I want this to be clear. I pre-bunked that. I said you were going to do that. I already put it in the chat.
Oh, can
20
you
minutes
the
ago,
birds?
I said,
We're never going to get away from this, Charles, until you actually steal man about the mapping in Australia, mate.
I'm just going to comment. I'm going to respond to my own
I'm
comment
just
to
going to
show that I pre-bunked
a few
your,
times while you
your
figure out what you're going to
response.
say.
Talk through the answer you asked for, coward. Talk through the answer you asked for, coward.
Check his noise gate. As he said, if 2 or 3 people are talking, his voice gets muted.
North, south,
It'll
east,
be
west.
interesting to see if he's got his noise gate on.
Addressing directly what's been put to me is cowardly.
Yeah.
I think not.
Yeah. Just deafen other people.
It's okay. Anybody? How many Ledwell copies are in the room?
Right, Ledwell. I spoke to Ledwell.
Ledwell.
Has anybody got a Ledwell copy?
They try and offset
the Ledwell copy is going to be collectible because it's got all the mistakes in.
Thieves do. But as I already thanked you,
the Ledwell copy's got all the mistakes in that he's got to
showing
put
where
right.
people have stolen a copy of my book. If it's got a comma in it, that's to say it wasn't auto-updated when that change was made. I'll know people have stolen it.
That's going to be the valuable one, Nathan. The original one with all the mistakes in.
Ledwell sold 100 copies.
Right, we're going to talk about absolutely, we can talk all about my book. It's fantastic. It details things
the original books and things that have all the problems.
Do what they're doing now. Spurred through the top of me when I point out how their question includes Earth measurement.
Was it
That's
self-published?
what happens. It's just when you're reading a book, you don't have to hear Rob Chatskank through the top of me pointing out
into a contract.
Roger Ledwell. It's Roger
Ledwell being talked about. You can hear Elderbev talked about. You can hear Eggshells all Chatskanking all at once when I point out how flat Earth is measured as per the book.
But what about your audience? What can they hear?
The cows on the cover really seal it.
What
do cows have to do with flat Earth?
It's what I do to you, ballers.
That's what I do. I make you so mad.
You're going nuts. Or you're talking
you are going nuts.
Yeah, now we've got a high-pitched Rob going absolutely bonkers. Who's going to have the first nervous breakdown?
You.
Where are we?
Years ago.
Still 4 men talking.
What do you think the value of the original copy will be in the future, Oakley?
I mean, it's only the 13th time I pointed out that the flat Earth prerequisite. You are all terrified of your own measurement. You want to put me in a
Let's talk about my book. Let's talk about
the mistakes in the book yet.
We get a 45-minute Spurg session.
Have you found the mistakes in the book yet and put them right?
We're totally Spurging.
Or are you talking
about Oakley in the book?
Eggshells acknowledge how flat azimuth is. It's part of his question. The first thing that was put to me.
It sounds like Nathan's stuttering over the sperm inside of his mouth instead of like not deafening people. So when somebody finishes their sentence,
did one of the Spurs that thought, my friend?
Directly with the idea.
We were talking about your numbers, Nathan. Your numbers.
Let's take the numbers.
Blame that on me. I heard the Spurgo interrupting
your
you
numbers.
In the middle of your thought.
You gave from 10th man that you stood by.
I noticed.
Getting accused of muting them.
Yeah, of course.
Or funding muting. Yeah.
Of course he is. Of course he's muting everybody.
Through the top of me pointing out that azimuth's flat Earth directionality.
Can we get a shout out to Roger Ledwell? Shout out to Roger Ledwell for delivering 100
rather than an acknowledgement for the 15th repetition. Eggshell involved measuring Earth.
Roger Ledwell.
I love you, Roger Ledwell.
Is the champion.
This is what we're
the champion of Amazon. Roger Ledwell.
Complete nervous breakdown.
In the early days,
amazing how Roger defeated the DRM.
4 more days.
Are you really that scared of azimuth that you want to talk about?
A man named Roger Ledwell delivered.
Nathan, is it true Chuck has better DRM than Amazon?
Linear distances on maps. Wow, you bunch of cowards.
Nathan, is it
Why
true
are there
that
cows on the cover, Nathan? Why do you have cows on the cover?
I'm going to still talk about my book. My book's fantastic. It's selling really, really well. I'm delighted. It's got loads of really positive feedback. A few of you,
It's already been proven that's
so good.
You haven't approved one review. We gave it reviews and you haven't approved one review.
Do it for free. Thank
You
you so
won't
much.
let one review. He won't let one negative review on there, dude. This guy won't even allow it. He's a clown.
I don't get to choose
We all
reviews
reviewed.
on my book.
We all reviewed your book. We all reviewed his book, and there's not one review up there.
How
Where?
flat.
Oh, now you're gonna rumpus through me. Rumpus through
You've
me.
got three guys that can hear at once, Rob. You're going to tell me off for rumpusing?
Nathan, what kind of
You
DRM
are.
does Chuck
You're
use?
rumpusing.
Notice the fallacious fallacy.
You've got three guys on your own side talk through each other, scrambling to get on the bed.
I don't hear him. I turn him down. I don't hear him.
My audience can definitely hear him, Rob, you dipshit.
Rob, hang on.
I don't your reviews.
Rob,
though.
hang on. That's the Spurg talking to you, mate. You want to come here? You dumb fuck.
I love this shit. I love this shit, dude. What a way.
You love it, do you? What, telling me off?
What a Monday.
You're all
What a Monday. Turn you on. Turn you on. You sexy little beast. I love you, Nathan.
If Roger Ledwell
He's in real
figured out this
trouble.
DRM, how good could it be?
I could definitely hear three men all talking at once, spurging to get over the 15th competition of asthma.
You're talking about
three DRM. How good could it be?
I wouldn't follow Spurgy Stones with Spurgy House.
This is awesome.
It is awesome.
Let's talk about the book,
Nathan.
Nathan, why does your book have cows on the cover? What do cows have to do with flat Earth?
I don't know, Rob. It's just a flat Earth measurement.
Nathan, why does your book have so many mistakes in it?
But I use linear images to measure the cows, so therefore the cow is linear.
What about you guys? Would you agree?
Where's the guns?
Yeah, total breakdown. He's gone to the equivalence of a Toon breakdown with where are the guns. Yeah, that was the same nervous breakdown that Toon had when I pointed out that he was measuring Earth flat too. Coincidentally, with the exact same azimuthal directionality that you're spurging out over.
Serious question.
Oh, you deflected with measurements, Nathan.
I did. I tried to deflect the measurement.
All right. He's going to go over the mistakes tomorrow night.
Measurements have been asked about, which resulted in DRM coming up.
Talking about measurements,
My
how
book, how many
long
copies, whether or not
circumference of the equator?
as opposed to the thieving fuckers that have stolen a copy.
What are the
Oh, thanks again, Elder Bear, for that comma. Really useful for finding out thieves.
So anyway,
Meanwhile,
it's
called azimuth. It's the same measurement that was made in Antarctica. And when I put that to the person measuring,
the circumference of the measured
I was asked
equator
about
is
guns, just like Spurgo Rob just did.
Where are the
It
guns?
was recorded and broadcast live, Rob.
Where are the guns?
Yeah, definitely a nervous breakdown. Definitely.
Nathan, are we allowed to ask for a refund because of the missing comma?
Yeah, where's the who starts a fucking sentence with okay then?
It also updates if you've actually purchased the book.
Yeah, I
But
purchased
someone won't be
the book.
missing
Can I
or
get the
add
new
the wrong
version of
place
it?
anymore if you've actually purchased it. If, on the other hand, you're a thief, that's a really easy way of showing it.
Oh dear! The
No,
English
you
police
said piracy was okay.
Become the English police, the English book police. We're going to travel to America and put you in jail. The English book police. Good day, sir. We heard you have Nathan's book. We're going to need that copy.
Rob, it does appear to be the case that Rob is having a complete.
We're going to need the We're going to need the contents of your house, sir. Nathan Oakley has sent us from England to gather the books. We are going around the world. You are going to be in Flat Earth. You're going to be in Flat Earth jail, sir. This is 13 years in prison.
Reviewed the book yet?
Yes.
How did you get Arwen to do an audio version of the book? How did you get Arwen to do an audio version of the book? I'm curious.
That would be awesome. That's a good idea.
He's doing his pre-show thing. He's doing his live stuff.
Oh, guys, there is an Arwen
the original
version
book,
of
right?
The audio book.
The original book is going to be valuable because it's the one with all the mistakes in. The updated one will be the one where he realizes all the shit he's got wrong and he has to put it right. I mean, he's got a fallacy in there that's glaringly fallacious. It's really obvious that he doesn't know.
The real question here is, the real question for everybody who wants to know, the most pertinent question of them all, is why are the cows on the cover? What do cows have to do with Flat Earth?
I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this
cows hiding
it's in English.
subscribe. Hit the bell
It's a
notification
British
icon
comedy
and
sketch
if you'd like to
that
become
he
a Nathan
uses
Oakley
from a
You
Nigel
want to know why
father
there's
saying,
cows on the cover?
This
Because he's
cow is
milking
big,
all
it's
you
close.
flirts for your money.
If you would like to
He's
support the
milking
channel,
you
there
for
is
your
a
money.
super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a coffee, Patreon,
Yeah.
crypto, and thanks button in the info box
When he
below the
measured
video.
the cow, he used
Most
linear
importantly, if you'd like
inches.
to join the
Therefore,
discussion,
cows are
simply
Those are,
age you
remember
currently
guys,
watching,
those
then
are
click the
dairy
link in the
cows
info
on the
box below
cover
this
because he's
video.
milking
Join
you
the
for
channel and
all of
express
your
your
shit.
views on the nature of
He's
Earth.
just milking
If
you.
you do join, please
You're
don't
a
swear.
bunch of
If
cows.
you do, you'll be ejected.
If you
And
do,
if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using stock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next
That's an
stream.
utter
Please
disgrace.
also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances
Don't
of a
point
more
out the
diverse
mistakes
panel.
in his
So
book,
please share
though.
the show on Facebook
Just
and
let them
X.
lie there,
You can
just
also
to show his
pick up a
illiteracy.
copy of my new book. Link is
And
in
to
the
show that he
info box
wasn't
below
My
really
this
new
video.
privately
book.
educated.
And we
My
are
new book,
joined
this guy
by
thinks he's like
Neil,
Tolkien.
Surf Daddy, Click OK, Len, Wondeck,
Who's this guy,
Eli,
J.K.
and a
Rowling?
bunch of people in the worldwide
Okay,
debate
JK.
Discord server. So, welcome one and all.
There might
Yo,
be a
yo,
couple
yo.
of
Welcome,
photocopies
J.K. Rowling.
of-
Still losing their minds,
There might
Nathan.
be a
Still
couple of
losing their
copies
mind.
of
You're
Harry
losing their
Potter
minds,
around for the
Nathan.
pirate, but they've got about
losing it.
as much reality as flat Earth.
They're losing their minds, Nathan. They're losing it. They're losing their minds.
Take it to Hogwarts, which is right next to flat Earth, and Narnia.
We show quite extensively.
I'm walking here.
Yeah. So if the distances are measured flat, what's the circumference of the equator?
Distances are measured flat. Have you never seen a map scale? It's not an if question.
Yeah. So what's the distance then?
So
What's
as
the distance
my
around the
scale-
equator? That's
Not
all right.
if,
Be a big
as per
boy,
every
man
map
up,
scale
and
produced
get a
ever with
measurement.
flat Earth
What's the
measurements,
distance
you
from
put
the
it into
equator
an
to
if
the North
statement.
Pole?
Definitely
Man up
isn't
and
an
get a
if statement.
measurement. That's
It's a
just a
prerequisite as
matter
per
of
every single map scale ever measured.
the
ever.
directions, checking the dimensions,
Directions,
checking how
that's
long it is.
that's
What's the
horizontal degrees from
circumference of the
North
flat
Pole.
Earth
Nathan,
equator?
All
stop
directions are
answering
flat Earth by
questions. You're
prerequisite.
answering too many questions.
I'm going
Stop
to have to shut
answering too many
Robert.
questions, bro.
Rob's causing too much chaos. I'm going to have to shut him up. Right, my friend.
That's
you said
right.
directions.
I'll just talk through the little girl who's
Directions are
stuttering over his promotion of his own fake material because he can't show that Earth is measured flat if he can't give a measurement of the equator. You're just a fool who can't actually give a measurement. You say things are measured, but you can't cite a measurement.
Degrees from north.
Completely.
His book, he links the flat Earth measurements to 3959. Did you see that?
I didn't know. You're not going to spurg through my life, though. I'm talking to one guy. His name's Anvil. I'll talk to him, and when he's done talking, then I might talk to you, Edabert, or Rob, who can't cope. Now, you can spurg through my pre-show. Anvil, you asked about directions. Directions are degrees in the horizontal. Flat Earth only.
How does a horizontal line have 360 degrees? Only circles have that.
It means it's from a central point. That's what azimuth means. There's only one primary direction. That's north. Anything else is a degree. That's round.
Yeah, north to south from the North Pole to the equator is a straight line. How come a straight line has 90 degrees, Nathan?
Anvil, I'm going to give you one more.
Have 90 degrees.
My answers, then you'll be removed from
the equator to the North Pole is 90 degrees.
Traitor, Elderbev. Where's Elderbev? I'm going to unleash the Kraken of Elderbev, who's now going to call you a retard because you're deriving an equatorial value. He's a retard, isn't he, Elderbev?
Never said that. You can withdraw that claim. I never said that. Thank you.
Okay, so when you put it at my doorstep that somehow the equatorial value's mine making me retarded, it's actually this dude who just claimed the equator that's retarded, right? Or no, you're going to retract it right up until you can burn this straw.
2316 from 33 minutes. And Nathan Oakley tells you that the circumference of the equator is the same as the globe on flat Earth, 24,901 miles.
That's a linear distance. You derive by measuring angles off a flat plane.
Biggest circle on flat Earth. It's a circle, isn't it? A circle of equal elevation, you said.
On screen here, it's a derived value from flat Earth angles that the ballers build their equator with.
And the story?
Flat Earth measurements that you said that you have as the first order measurement. Where are they?
Deriving an equatorial plane. That's what the ballers use. The guy who just said the word equator.
No. You said they come from.
A guy that just got put on mute. Elderbear thinks you're a retard because he's suggesting that you don't understand how flat Earth is measured for this equatorial value that you just claimed? You're claiming it, Anvil. Elder Bear thinks you're a retard.
We know the distance from the North Pole to the equator is about 10,000 kilometers, but the equator value isn't 62,800 kilometers, which it must be if the Earth is flat, but it's not that distance. And if the equatorial value is about 40,000 kilometers, then we know that the radius doesn't match reality. So you've got a disconnect between reality and flat Earth. So we know flat Earth isn't reality. But that's okay. Talk through me like a stuttering coward. That's okay.
The globe fails miserably if you're saying that value's wrong.
Yeah, the distance from the equator to the North Pole isn't 3969. We've checked.
Okay. So you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. The ball fails. According to this baller, your values fail. Okay, it doesn't change how flat Earth is measured to derive that value you say is wrong for your globe. But according to this man, your globe's a complete failure. This value doesn't work.
The value for flat Earth doesn't match reality, because in reality, from the equator to the North Pole is about 10,000 kilometers.
Not
mine. Not 30.
Oh, is it you've tried to burn
3969?
Straw man like it's mine when it fails? No, this equatorial value, that's not mine. It's a global value that you're saying fails, my friend.
No, that's a measurement of reality, because we know there's about 69.12 miles per degree around the equator. So therefore, we know the distance on flat Earth must be about 3969. But in reality, it's
the equatorial value you say
kilometers.
Is a failure is measured in reality. Flat for distance in linear miles, flat for elevation angles. But according to you, inaccurate. The equatorial value the globe relies on. Yeah, the globe's a complete failure. I agree. Meanwhile, Earth's measured flat.
And meanwhile, the flat distances don't match reality, because the distance from the equator to the North Pole isn't 3969. So your failure,
globe reality for your global equator. Does that change that the distances are all flat when they're measured? No, they're all still flat measured distances, linear and horizontal. It's just your global values fail. Yeah, but flat distances are still used in all circumstances and without exception, my friend.
Well, that's completely false, because I can put a flat ruler on a bowling ball and drop a vertical to the bowling ball. Just because I used flat ruler on a bowling ball doesn't mean the bowling ball is flat. I measured the bowling ball using the horizontal and then a vertical drop. So talk through me like a stuttering
little coward. If it wasn't a horizontal measure
that's
distance, you couldn't derive verticality.
You're an impatient little tool
for hills and valleys, which have unequivocally been surveyed for every inch of Earth's flat surface, my friend. You can say no, that just makes you stupid. Absolutely without question. Every inch has been measured flat.
Yeah, including the drop from horizontal to a edge of a bowling ball. So just because a bowling ball uses something flat to measure a horizontal and something vertical doesn't make the bowling ball flat.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I measured a bowling ball flat. That doesn't make the bowling ball flat. So you've got a disconnect in your brain.
Nobody's measuring Earth as a bowling ball, because we need the horizontal distances, end quote you, to describe the vertical drops from the horizontal distances. You with your false equivalencies with your basketballs and bowling balls. No, we're talking about Earth measurement, dickhead.
Habersign is not horizontal distance.
I Haversign's a conversion from flat Earth measured distances. To convert with Haversign, it's a formula. The Haversign formula. That's not a measurement, you complete clown. That's now white knight.
It gives you an accurate measurement between 2 points.
We've got a white knight who's now taken over from you pissy pants.
Yeah, he's discovered Haversign.
It's a formula. It's not a measurement.
About the measurements.
Yeah, we know when we do surveying, the internal angles of the triangle add up to more than 180 degrees, which happens on
measurements. Yeah, that's right.
On a convex surface.
Measurements with this formula. That's right.
Oh dear.
And so we know when we survey that both
pants
reciprocal
number 1,
angles are in excess of 180 degrees, and we know that spherical excess is beyond 180 degrees.
I mean, there are assertions are demonstrated wrong.
Reality shows us the surface has internal angles greater than 180 degrees.
Angles are what we measure elevation with. Elevation angles, as per this diagram on screen, require a flat Earth be measured.
No, they just require a flat theodolite, not a flat Earth.
Right, flat Earth.
There's a difference. Just because the instrument above the Earth is flat doesn't mean the Earth underneath it is flat. Just like with the bowling ball example, just because my hardcover copy of your delicious book is flat doesn't mean the ball underneath is flat. The thing measuring
elevation specifically means from the surface,
but that doesn't mean the Earth underneath it is flat.
You just have to deny it's from the ground when the ground's being measured flat with elevation angles. Suddenly it's not the ground. Yeah, it is. So, in conclusion,
is the theodolite made out of ground?
Yeah, that's what elevation. Third time. What does elevation mean, you stupid idiot?
What did they measure Mount Everest from?
No, not the ground. I mean, elevation doesn't mean from the ground if you're a bull-believing crackhead. Hello?
You can take an elevation angle from a globe, just like I showed you with the book.
It's not the ground.
The book on the bowling ball is 180 degrees. Elevated from that.
Means it's from the ground. You dim-witted clown shoes. Hello?
Earth drops away from the tangent. Earth measurably drops away from the tangent.
If we're going to measure the surface in horizontal distances, topographical deviations in the vertical are with respect to the horizontal linear measurements of miles. As per the scales on
water, the water drops below the horizontal.
Stupid idiot.
The water doesn't rise to eye level. The water drops. It's about 8 inches per mile square.
Everything in your it's going to bounce off me like Superman, you stupid clown. Meanwhile, you've got horizontal linear distances that you require. You've got azimuthal directionality you require.
That's just spinning around clockwise or anti-clockwise using the theodolite. So that doesn't mean the Earth is flat just because the instrument on it is using something flat.
Horizontal only. That's how directions work. This is the 16th time, ladies and gentlemen, I've gone through this. This was covered in the pre-show. It's just they had a lot of spurg out mental breakdowns through the top of it while I was asked about horizontal directions being applicable to converted maps in Australia. Now, I'm capable, 16 attempts later, to point out how flat and horizontal directions are. That's right. You can only measure directions on a flat Earth.
No, that's completely false because we know that when we get our instrument on this
if you're moving on the surface of Earth, you're moving using this system. Is it de facto horizontal?
It's not horizontal when it's below the eye line. So
I'm going to quote Rob Noxious.
If your eye line is horizontal,
calling you a retard. He doesn't seem to understand that horizontal degrees from north. End quote. Horizontal degrees from north. Rob, do you want to just set this retard correct?
Yeah, Rob. Let me set him straight. Don't call me a retard.
No. I'll quote Rob. Horizontal degrees from north. This man Anvil has said that that's incorrect, Rob. He's calling you a retard, my friend.
What did he do? Oh my God! Are you serious? He did that?
I'm serious. This man.
I wish Nathan's words came out of my mouth.
Okay, let's talk about it.
Right.
Let's talk about it. Why are there cows
how's it going, mate?
your book?
Let's not talk about it. We've defined it, Rob, with your own words. I quoted you. A question won't suffice. What I need is yes,
Rob,
Nathan.
would you like to speak to for your own self instead of Nathan talking for you?
That's what I'm looking for from you, Rob.
Why are there cows on your book cover?
From you, Rob. No, I'm not looking
for about the cows.
Bye, Rob. You're uncooperative. You just have to take my word from it, Anvil.
So Rob's denying it now?
Yeah, lying.
We've measured water drop below the horizontal, so we know water isn't flat. We know it curves about 16.
Earth's measured flat in the horizontal. That's correct.
Yeah, correct. And we know that the water drops below, so we know the curvature of the Earth is below.
No. We need the horizontal measured flat Earth distance to describe the drop from. Do you not understand how
just need a flat measurement? It doesn't mean it's a flat Earth. We know that the Earth is curved because the Earth curves below the horizontal.
That doesn't mean we're measuring the Earth.
the Earth measurably curves below the horizontal.
No, mate.
This
the
has been
curve
measured.
drop with respect to the horizontal measured flat Earth distance. That's the second time you've attempted to do this. Now, for my audience's benefit, notice when they use flat Earth measured miles and say the Earth drops with respect to the flat Earth measured miles, then it is an Earth measurement. That's cushy. It's okay to use flat Earth measured miles and say there's a drop with respect to them, then it's an Earth measurement. But when I say, well, you're describing drop with respect to a flat Earth measured mile, suddenly it's not the Earth that's being measured. You notice that?
You just say the word flat Earth and just saying it's horizontal. That doesn't mean the Earth continues to stay horizontal. When we measure the Earth from horizontal, we notice the rest of Earth goes below horizontal. So we know that they're curved Earth measurements, not flat Earth miles. There's no such thing as a flat Earth mile,
and the
more than there is a
horizontal
flat Earth
distance
inch.
is measured flat.
Yeah, and we know that the Earth drops below horizontal, so we know that the Earth's
right.
curved.
Yeah, so Earth's measured flat with horizontal distance then.
Yeah, and so we know that since the Earth drops away from that horizontal, the Earth is actually curved.
We've got hills. Yeah, Earth drops away from the horizontal. We've got hills. We've surveyed.
Level water does this.
We've horizontal
measured
linear
oceans for
mile
ages. We know that the oceans
flat
curve at
Earth
about
miles.
1 degree every
got
60
hills.
nautical miles. We
Yeah,
know
we've got
that the
hills.
Earth curves measurably by about 1 degree every
measurably.
69.12 miles. So we know that
hills. In order to survey them, we needed horizontal linear mile measurements, though, like as the crow flies. Hello.
And still, the rest of the Earth curved below that. Bottoms of mountains disappeared from the bottom up.
Deviation also.
Buildings
to be
disappeared
below
from the bottom up. That usually happens because the surface is curved.
From the horizontal, above and below. Above and below what? A flat plane. You're using flat Earth prerequisite descriptions when you say below. That's the verticality described with respect to the horizontal miles we measure.
That's correct.
Yeah, all you've done is measure a tangent and then measure the curve below that tangent.
Yeah,
so we know the Earth is curved
in horizontal
because the
miles.
Earth went below
Even
that
the
tangent.
retarded ballers require flat Earth mile measurements. It's unequivocal. Earth is measured flat with linear miles. These dickheads using their claim to be
flat doesn't mean the Earth underneath it is flat.
They're reliant on measuring Earth flat.
Yeah, you can't get away from it.
We know the curve is below the flatness. That's very good,
we know
Nathan.
The hills
we know that the curve is below the flatness. It's been measured.
If Earth is curving, we've surveyed it with respect to a horizontal plane measured called sea level. It is axiomatically and fundamentally required to be a level plane of reference to describe
sea level doesn't stay flat. We've measured the sea. We've measured the coastlines. We know that the coastlines dip by about 1 degree every 69.1 miles. So when they surveyed the coastlines along the water, they noticed that the coastlines dip
when you measure
below
the angle of the
horizontal.
star off a flat plane.
No, all they had to do was measure the Earth and check whether one water level dropped to a different level.
Degree for every
and so
69 nautical miles on a glorified protractor known as the globe Earth. Inside this cutaway is the measured flat surface you will derive 1 degree for every 69 nautical miles from. That is the angle declining from zenith. For 1 degree, you move along this plane every 69
that was done using reciprocal zenith angles. So
miles.
We didn't need the stars to get 69
prerequisite equatorial plane and the degrees that you measure from surface level. They're called elevation angles. The ones you denied as being with respect to the plane, they're going to form your fricking globe.
So anyway, the water dipped below the horizontal reference at point A, and point B looked at point A.
To a plane. Using the word below means you've used the surface planar to be above or below it. That's a planar description.
So we know the Earth curved below that particular horizontal point. So we know the Earth has tangential values.
Planar description, you dumbass. Third time.
Nathan, so why is the horizontal datum based on the
This man I'm
ellipsoid?
annihilating. Keeps using flat Earth prerequisites. He doesn't need you to hop on the bed, little cuck. You can cope with watching, cuck.
Yeah. So anyway, we didn't even use the stars to figure out that the curvature of the Earth was about 69.1 miles per degree because we had
Incorrect.
two
Distance is
theodolites
a mile
about
measurement.
70
Distance is
miles
a linear. When he
apart.
says miles,
So
ipso
we
facto, that
measured that the
immediately means it's
theodolites were
linear.
leaning
69
backwards from each
linear
other.
miles. They're not curving. What are you, Buck?
We know miles can curve because
we
the
know that
Daytona
degree on
racetrack,
screen is the
dickhead.
derivation of the 1
Does
degree
the
for every
Daytona
69
racetrack have
and 60 nautical
a
miles.
distance?
That's what's demonstrated on screen in this diagrammatical example. This that you see here is his requirement as a baller to derive this angle, which will give him 1 degree for every 69 statute
I've
miles.
been deafened
Flat
and I'm being
planar
talked
measurement of
over
an angle. It's
on
called
his
an
side.
elevation angle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Planar,
Nathan,
mate.
what?
You need it planar for the degree. 1 degree? Yeah, that's a measurement off a plane.
Yeah, and that was the Earth going
So
1
we're
degree
measuring
lower
a plane,
than the
then.
No.
The Earth dipped below the horizontal by 1
You don't
degree
understand
over
how the
that
equatorial
69
plane works.
miles.
No, the degrees from a flat plane. It's creating this glorified protractor you think is the globe from within it when you describe 1 degree. That's an angle,
simply
my
across
friend,
the
giving you a
surface. I didn't
linear
have to go
distance in
bury-
miles.
I didn't have to bury a plumb bob 3969 into the ground. All I had to do was measure the surface from point A to point B. And what the measurements showed me is that point A dipped away by 1 degree over those 69 miles.
To the horizontality. That's what plumb bob gives you. That
No, it
prerequisite
doesn't.
again.
Well, the plumb lines were diverging by a degree. Explain that.
To be diverging means you need a master reference to describe them diverging from. If they're going to be diverging, you need a plane to describe that divergence with respect to. You need a plane for the diverging zeniths you're about to claim also, you dimwit.
Oh dear.
So flatness curves by 1 degree because the theodolites measured that.
On screen now, for the audience's benefit, you're describing a planar declination of a degree towards the horizon. That's what the degrees
below
are.
the horizon.
Planar measurements,
Below the
they're
horizontal.
elevation angles. The same one you
the theodolite
denied
had to
earlier,
dip
you
down
dimwit.
to make the measurement. That's where the sea level was, and that's where the observation
Sea level
was.
Yeah, welcome to flat Earth. That's correct. Yeah, all altitude changes are with respect to a planar surface measured called sea level,
including the altitude of the coastline 69 miles away. So we noticed that the measurement of the coastline 69 miles away dipped down by 1 degree. So we know that the coastline, which is at water level, isn't flat by 1 degree.
Water level speaks for itself. That's flatness within the description of levelness, having no part higher or lower than another. Meanwhile, you've appealed to elevation angles. 1 degree, you say? That's an elevation angle, my friend.
Well, despite of your cherry picking of dictionaries, what we notice is that the level of water
for the audience is 1 degree for every
away 1 degree every 69 miles using theodolites. So the measurements of the water show.
Measurement he denied earlier.
So anyway,
how do they taste? Yeah, That got your tongue? Stuttery response, perhaps?
Oh, you just like talking about balls because they're in your mouth a lot. So anyway, the reciprocal zenith angle showed that the water dipped away by about 1 degree from this point.
1 degree for every 69 statute or 60 nautical miles is this ball on screen. It's your globe that you'd have to be within on an equatorial plane. The same one that was claimed
have to be within it. You can be on the surface. That's where the theodolite is.
This
The
garbage
theodolite is in
model that failed miserably,
surface,
according to
not
you.
the center
Meanwhile,
of the globe.
this acquisition of the angle is with respect to a plane. It's an altitude angle.
The level of water was 1 degree lower than the other water. Level doesn't mean flat.
If you're going to
because you
describe
looked up over the
zenith
dictionary, the
angles,
measurements
you need
reveal that the water
to describe the
dipped
deviation
down
of the
by
angle
1
from.
degree.
That's the second time I've explained this.
The water level dropped by 1 degree along the coastline.
It's a vertical
I mean,
deviation
whatever you
from
appeal to a
in
dictionary
order
for
to have a drop,
doesn't mean
with a flat
reality
earth
changes because of your
you
chosen
need the
dictionary.
horizontal for it to drop from.
Yeah, and that's why the Earth curves, because we know the level of
How do
water
they
drops by
taste?
1 degree over those 69
I'm
miles.
using flat Earth measurements and prerequisites. Yeah, drop is with respect to the horizontal. But what? So what? Yeah, what Earth is measured flat, Dumbo?
Yeah, and what we notice is that when we try to measure
piss
flat,
off.
the water
Next.
level is
Finally,
lower
we
than a
get a
different water
concession
level.
from this
So your
dipshit Anvil.
dictionary is one
Yeah,
that
you're done, dickhead. Bye-bye. Next.
Next up. Roll up.
Don't use flat earth prerequisites in your suggestions that you've got an argument. You will be taught a new one by me for a live audience. Yeah? And when it gets to the point that you're stuttering and stammering over the concessions for up, down, above, below, drop, in the vertical with respect to the horizontal, linear distances in miles, nautical or statute, elevation angles, every single prerequisite part of this guy's claim to be argument required Earth be measured flat. Next.
Yeah, because that's the way it is, Nathan.
Yeah, they require it be
It's
so.
hilarious. It is hilarious listening to him describing flat Earth measurements when thinking about living on a globe. They're just giving you horizontal, sea level, altitude, elevation from surface level. I mean, do they not realise what they're saying? Theodolite angle measuring device. I mean, come on, guys.
Yeah. And you, if you're in the audience, can be privileged enough to read about this in my new book called Measured Flat, available in the link below this video. Check it out. It's only been out 1 weekend. Sold over 100 copies already. Fantastic stuff.
Or you can read a free book online called Clark's Geodesy, which talks about how they measured the globe to be an ellipsoid. It's free.
How did they measure it?
So anyway, Nathan, why is the horizontal datum NAD27 based off of the ellipsoid?
They've got an ellipsoid measured. My question response is how are they measuring it? You haven't responded to my question with respect to what you put to me as a claim. How did they measure it? What were the measurements? Second time. Silly.
So what they did is they put planks down and they made sure that they were all level, and then they did this measurement over.
First thing we're doing is leveling a tool to a plane of reference. Step 1, reference level.
If you want
ellipsoids don't have any levels on them.
And then you interrupt when the method is being heard. It's kind of weird.
Level to a plane?
Either way,
I'll ram that levelness to your ass. When you suggest you're measuring an ellipsoid,
measure the Earth to be
level
flat,
to a plane.
Why do they base their horizontal movements on an ellipsoid?
Failing to concede, the first step in your measurement was with respect to level.
Yeah, level doesn't mean flat.
Yeah.
That's just
You're
pre-assuming that level means flat.
Going. Step 1, measure Earth flat. What a wonderful, convincing ellipsoid proof.
Yeah, it's not measuring it flat. If you you're just assuming that level means flat.
Level planks.
So
you're going to level with respect to an ellipsoid. Yeah. No, I'm thinking not. I'm thinking level requires levelness for you to reference it. You're not going to get from an ellipsoid. You're not measuring when you quote level the planks.
Yeah, level doesn't necessarily mean flat.
Level what doesn't mean you've got anything to do with the surface. Now that you're using level,
a whole lot, and you're loading a whole lot into that word. Instead of just
your word you used to suggest you'd got a measurement. Step 1, level. Yeah, that's the end of the discussion, mate. Your claim. Why are you suggesting I'm saying weight being a perpendicular downward vector with respect to a plane also? Weight requires a flat Earth also, you dumbo.
We're not talking about weight right now. But
we're
anyway,
not talking about what you've just brought up when you leveled these tools to a plane. No, you were talking about them right up until the point I rammed them at your asshole for being flat Earth level prerequisites that definitely aren't going to come from an ellipsoid, you dumbo. Then you talked about how much weight it had. Then I described how weight is a downward perpendicular to a plane also.
So the fact still remains that the horizontal datum for America in 1927 was based on was based
measurements. The average sea level, that horizontal datum is horizontal.
an ellipsoid. It was based
No,
on an
horizontal
ellipsoid.
datum doesn't give you an ellipsoid. Converting it after the
you're
fact
right.
from a
You're right.
horizontal
No,
prerequisite
you
or
got
flat
it
Earth
backwards.
measurement of
You got it
sea level
backwards, Nathan. You got it
gives you
backwards,
a
Nathan.
ability
The
to plumb
horizontal,
those flat Earth measurements
horizontal
into
datum
calculations.
is not what gave us the
That's formulas
ellipsoid.
like Haversine.
The horizontal datum
Converting flat
was
measurements into sphericity
based on the
isn't a
ellipsoid.
measurement.
You got it backwards, Nathan.
What they don't level their tools, they measure the ellipsoid first. Well, that's not what you said, though.
Yeah, because you don't listen to what I say, so that's probably why you misunderstood.
It's not like I just steel-manned exactly what he said back to me with a short pause. Like, what, I've got a set of bleeding ears? Yeah, I heard what you said, Dumbo. Step 1, level the tools. Yeah, ellipsoids don't actually give you that. You realise that, you complete retard?
So
No,
why
retard.
is that?
Why are you
So
asking
why
me
is
to be you complete retard? I'm asking
So-
for a concession. Step 1 in your claimed ellipsoid proof, level a tool. Yeah, you'll need to level it to a plane of reference. What do we move on to as you non sequitur away from your non-concession of our level you're claiming we must start this process with? Oh, well, in the horizontal datum. Yeah, that'll be a horizontal datum, you dumbass.
Okay.
Hello?
So
Clown shoes!
it's weird that, like, I know it's unusual for you to understand that people usually wait for the other person to speak to finish, but that's what I was.
I mean, I don't understand. I'll just remove you from the discussion, you complete wanker. Tell me as a third attempt that you're going to tell me how I don't understand. I've listened to what you claimed, shoved it back up you, painful though it was, with you trying to non sequitur away to a horizontal datum. Like, slapping one flat Earth measurement you've handed me out my hand with another one is somehow going to win, and then tell me I don't understand. Now I'll get you removed right quick. Complete wanker. Next.
Every one of them talks about horizontal and level when trying to describe a curve.
They got so used to using flat Earth prerequisites that they just continue to do it with their eyes closed.
Eggshells, you're up. We were in the pre-show talking about your request to explain azimuthal directionality and distance. We never, in 16 attempts, got to you conceding how azimuthal directionality is only capable of being described in the horizontal, and how distance, as per all map scales surveyed ever, is only ever capable of horizontality, because it's going to be deriving the verticality that your opponents, my opponents, were also deriving verticality with. That's horizontal directionality and horizontal distance, Eggshells. I put this to you 16 times with a lot of spurging. We're going to get a concession, you complete coward.
Everyone see who's spurging.
I'm talking to Eggshells, left lane. He put it to me about some projected map distance difference that he said fails when we project azimuthal. I said azimuthal is directionality in the horizontal. I've said it 17 times. Hello, Eggshells. Wakey, wakey. No problem. If you, an audience member, want to reduce bull-believing clowns to a gibbering mess or total silence, go out and buy my new book, Measured Flat. You too can be a debating ninja and reduce an entire room full of bull-believing crackheads to the silence that's now ensuing as a result of my presence. You can possess this power too. Just buy a copy of my book, Measured Flat. Next. As we heard a friendly voice, how are you, left lane?
No, I'm not talking to your ass. You won't let nobody speak.
What are you talking about? I've heard people put azimuth to me, directions to me. I've had the equator put to me. I've had levelling planes with planks for the ellipsoid put to me. What are you talking about? I've heard plenty of things put to me. What are you on about? All right, you just accused me of not letting people speak, and I've just put about 16 different positions back to you that I've had put to me since I've been here, left lane. What are you babbling about? Second time. Furthermore, I heard you claiming that I didn't let anybody speak. Given that I'm asking you specifically to respond to me and you've got dumbfounded silence as a response, I'm just going to say, nah, left lane's a wanker, talking absolute garbage, given that the audience can hear me parroting back exactly what they've heard put to me. I'm going to go with no, people definitely got to speak, left lane.
what it means is stop interrupting them when they're giving you flat Earth measurements and just skip past that and let them explain how it's measured flat, but it's a globe.
When I'm using a flat Earth measurement to put to Nathan, don't interrupt.
Listen, if you don't understand, there's a book available, right, Nathan?
Yes, it's called Measured Flat, available now. You can listen to all of the different debating points where my opponents suggest things like equatorial planes, elevation angles, distances, directionality. Now, when utilising all of those positions from a baller perspective, my book takes the reader through step by step how every single globe Earth claim ever put to anybody ever required a flat plane be measured to make it. Measured Flat, available now. Links in the info box. Check it out. I was hoping today we'd get through some reactions from it. Hopefully a few... Ooh, somebody's just collapsed in my kitchen. I'll be right back. 1 second.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it, when you listen to these guys describing how Earth's measured flat.
One deck, what's the baseline of the flat Earth elevation angle?
You're the sea level, mate.
No, well, when do you ever use sea level to measure an angle? What?
Have you never heard of sea level?
Yeah, but my question was specifically flat Earth angles, elevation angles. When do you use sea level as part of your elevation angle?
Have you ever heard of sea level? Hello?
He's just going to speak right through you.
Yeah.
No, I was just curious, when you're using a theodolite, when do you ever use sea level as the baseline for the elevation angle?
You're measuring a vertical or horizontal angle. You won't be measuring any curvature when you're using a theodolite. What are you talking about?
Why are you answering a different question? I just simply asked. Elevation angles are flat Earth measurements.
First question, you said, what's the baseline? I said sea level. Now you're talking about a theodolite, where I'm pointing out it's not measuring curvature, it's measuring vertical, horizontal angles.
You're answering different questions again. It's weird.
So,
But, okay, cool. Good try.
What's your question, Wesley?
Can you answer it, Nathan, or no? You're going to go to a different question.
Yeah, I was in the kitchen. Something fell off the shelf in the kitchen because all the
windows
are open.
He was asking me what we use for a baseline for elevation angles. I said sea level. Then he started asking me about a theodolite, and I explained the theodolite doesn't measure curvature. Why you're talking about it? It just measures vertical and horizontal angles.
Is that correct?
So can you answer it, Nathan?
How do you calibrate the theodolite?
Nathan, can you do that?
When do we use surface level for an elevation angle?
Yes, when do you use surface level for an elevation angle?
When we're navigating the surface.
When do you? I'll ask it again. Maybe you didn't hear me. When do you use the actual surface level as elevation angle?
The surface was your question. My answer in navigation. Second time I've answered you.
Okay, I'll ask the original question. See if you can answer it. So when you're taking an elevation angle, what is your horizontal baseline?
The third time I've answered you. The surface we are navigating. Third time.
That's incorrect. You never use it.
Oh, so when we're performing celestial navigation, it's not with respect to the surface according to a Discord wanker. Yeah, it is.
Correct.
Yeah, we're navigating the surface. It's called navigation. Now, obviously, when we're measuring Earth flat with an elevation angle, by the way, the word elevation itself for an elevation angle specifically and explicitly ties it to the surface, Wesley. Do you not know what the word elevation means?
So when you
get
the
elevation angle, all I ask.
Your question to Wesley,
you got to talk through me.
Okay. No, my question to you, Wesley. Do you not understand, given your question about what's with respect to the surface, what the word elevation means? Second time I'm asking you. I've answered your question. Now see if you can answer mine.
You haven't used it at all.
Do you know what elevation means?
It's okay if you can't answer the question. It's fine.
I'm going to remove.
I'll mute up until you can.
The fourth time, I've answered his question. I've been courteous. I answered him. Caught up on what he had to say. Responded to it directly. In navigation, that's when we're dealing with the surface. My response to him, do you, fourth time, understand what the word elevation means?
Stuttering fool. What if you use it in an aircraft? What if you use it in a sextant in an aircraft?
What, a bubble sextant, parallel with the plane? Second time to left lane. What, a bubble sextant parallel with the plane? Second time. Left lane, dipshit. You chanted up. Fortunately for Wesley, he decided to accuse me of stuttering when I repeated the
parallel with the plane.
Oh, you're just going to talk through me. That's
no, it just
problem.
spans down is all that references.
What was put to me was what about being in a plane, and I put it to him for the third time. What, like a bubble sextant parallel with the plane? Wesley has been put on mute. That's why we urge you left lane. No response. So, in conclusion, if you're in a plane, underneath the pilot's seat is a bubble sextant. So he can measure parallel with the planar surface he's in flight level with respect to, an altitude measured vertical from sea level with respect to. So he can avoid obstacles also measured vertical with respect to a planar surface at sea level, with that horizontal datum that came up earlier. So when you use a bubble sextant, you don't need to use the horizon and make a correction because the horizon's formed with the ground that's below you. But if you've got a bubble in your sextant, it's already parallel with the plane of the ground, so there's no correction to be made. But that's how the navigation system works. Parallel with the ground, so that you can acquire ground positions directly below the plane that you measure, that you level the bubble to.
What makes the bubble level?
Oh, this is painful, left lane.
I said, what makes the bubble level?
Makes the bubble level? Water and its fundamental principles. Water at rest finds its level. If you put a little air bubble in, it'll find its level within that water in the bubble. That's how a bubble works. Have you never used a level, like a tool, like a level in a tool with a bubble in it? Same principle.
Oh my God. Can't believe we're going there.
Right, go ahead, whoever that was.
The one deck.
Just saying, I can't believe where these conversations go with these guys now. It's absolutely pathetic talking about level and what a level is. And they're using theodolites, they're using the angle measuring tools, the elevation, sea level, leveling planks, horizontal, vertical, plumb lines, plumb bobs.
But it's not the ground.
Yeah, not the ground. It is the ground, Neil. If they can use horizontal distance and describe drop in the vertical to suggest that calculated drop at a rate that the ballers utilise, that then becomes the ground. When I say, okay, so you're using a horizontal distance and a vertical drop to infer curve, I mean, obviously we've got hills, then you need the horizontal distance to be measured flat. Oh, well, then it's not the ground. It's only the ground when I use it to derive drop from it. Then it's the ground. But when we ignore the derived calculated drop the ballers need, it's just the horizontal measured distance, then that's not the ground. Yeah, okay. Gotcha. Very interesting.
Yeah, you got it.
And not only that, level is only flat if you're using planks. Otherwise, it's curved.
No, I think you've misunderstood, George. Don't you understand? That's when you're leveling to the geoid. Obviously, because geoids have got levels. It makes total sense. That's why you level to it. Then it's the ground. Until I point out that you're leveling to a plane, then it's definitely not the ground when you're inferring a geoid from leveling planes. What about if you described reciprocal zenith angles? Oh, well, this angle deviates from this angle. Oh, right, with respect to a plane that you're describing the angle deviating from? Yeah, every single claim of a sphere-shaped surface has its origins and foundations in flat Earth measurements. That's how Earth's measured. Like I say, if you're watching this in the audience, you can read all about it in my book called Measured Flat.
Both verticals need to share the same horizontal plane for you to claim that there is a deviation of some sort. So it needs to be flat throughout for the claim.
But why do they deviate? Why do the zeniths deviate?
They don't deviate.
90 degrees to a plane. When you say, why does a zenith deviate? Now, zenith is an axiom. It's describing 90 degrees to a planar surface. A zenith itself is a flat Earth prerequisite. To have a zenith means 90 degrees to a plane. Hello? Did you hear my response, left lane? Clearly not. I'll repeat it. Zenith means 90 degrees to a plane. It's directly above you. That's what zenith means. So it's a planar measurement. If you say, oh, well, my zenith isn't a zenith, therefore it's reciprocal to a plane that shows deviating angles from a plane that are different, well, then, number one, it's not a zenith. Number two, it requires a plane to describe the deviation with respect to it, like George just pointed out, like 10 seconds ago. Earth's measured flat for every single ball Earth claim ever made, ever. There are no exceptions to that. Foundationally, a ball Earth requires Earth be measured flat. To believe you're on a ball, like every one of these globe-believing dickheads here today, they've all demonstrated, without exception, that they rely on flat Earth measurements. Every single one of their claims was foundationally based on measuring Earth flat first. All of them. There wasn't a single exception. That's because there isn't any exception. Every Earth measurement ever made, ever, was flat. All of them.
Yeah, that's what caused Jem to spaz out the other day. He didn't want to hear about measurements no more.
No, none of them do. When they're using them, like I say, when they're describing deviation from the horizontal flat Earth measured distance to suggest they've got curve, then cool. We can use flat Earth measured miles to say Earth's a ball. And when you go, well, that means you've got horizontal measured flat Earth miles. That's not the ground. What? You've just used it. Yeah, I want to relinquish all of my claims at this point because they're reliant on flat Earth measurements. Next.
See, that's when you know it's a religion, Nathan, because it should be penny dropping, but it's not. It's resisting. That's a religion, and it's called heliocentrism.
Yeah. Was it more fun, guys in G Plus and Discord? Was it far more fun when nobody pointed out how flat Earth had to be measured for your suggested globe proof? Was it easier and more fun for you then, when you called us all idiots because you were using flat Earth measurements to suggest you had a ball beneath your feet? Was that much easier and much more fun? No response? Right?
Who are you speaking to?
Anybody, absolutely anybody. I'm asking as a general open question. Was it more fun when nobody pointed out how flat Earth was being measured to make suggestions? I've just trimmed out a video from one of the 7-hour debates that we had previously. Normally, it would take 3 hours maybe before we reach the point of total silence, like when they're stunned by their own flat Earth use of prerequisite measurements of horizontal distance or azimuth. Normally, it'd take quite a few hours. I made a few audio adjustments and people can actually hear me through the spurging now. So the conclusion that they've been absolutely annihilated isn't being hidden by them being able to spurg through and Fundy mute me. Now it takes about 40 minutes to get them to the point where they're absolutely stunned to silence with their own use of Earth measurements that they want to deny as being the ground. It's like this claim that we've got a globe-shaped ground will come with this distance measurement with drop derived from it. All right, so you got a flat Earth distance measurement. No, that's not the ground. Like, yeah, that's going to stun you to silence pretty quickly when you hear it, when you're not spurging through it 4 at a time. Has anybody actually read the book yet? I was hoping that a few of you might actually have read it, given that it's been a full weekend. I know it's only been 3 or 4 days, but, you know, has anybody actually read their way through the book yet?
I've not. I'm up to chapter 10. I couldn't read any this week and I've been out absolutely mad busy, but yeah, I'm up to the chapter Lunatics. So I'll be cracking on with that later. Yeah.
Lunatics is a great chapter.
Yeah, so yeah, I'm enjoying it though, Nathan. It's nice. Just I was hoping to get through a bit more this weekend, but it's just been crazy.
Would you agree with my another, so, would you agree with my assessment, given that you're about a third of the way through the book so far, that the difficulty level in terms of not necessarily intellect, but just how complex the subject matter is in each chapter slowly ramps up? That is to say, the first chapter describing my tacit entry into flat Earth and hearing Math Powerland or being at the back of a plane reminds me of a commenter about that regard as well. I'll come back to that in a minute. It's getting incrementally more difficult to wrap your head around if you're a newbie, let's just say. That's to say that the complexity of the subject matter increases as you read through the book. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, it does ramp up in a nice way. It starts off nice and steady. Obviously, you've got you go through the scientific method chapter, which is a little bit more involved, going through that and the pseudoscience. And like you say, then you've got the what's the chapter? The curve chapter, Earth curve chapter. That's another good chapter. I mean, I'm enjoying every chapter. I mean, I'm enjoying how it reads, and I'm enjoying the fact that it's a story. It's not just like a reference book where, I mean, I know you've just, but the information's in there if you want to use it like you've just suggested. If you want to have this discussion with globe believers, you can just pull them apart and explain how they are measuring flat Earth in every instance, which you're pointing out in the book at every opportunity. So you can use the book that way, but it is a nice story as well of you, Nathan, and the journey. So it's really good. It's not just a reference book so you can have an argument. You know what I mean? It's a really good book. So I will be cracking on again with that and reading a few more chapters later on.
Awesome.
And I'll probably have a chat about that tomorrow with you. But yeah, great stuff.
I can't wait. That's what I'm hoping for. Obviously, I'm itching to get feedback on my own book, which has literally just come out. So obviously, I want to hear people talking about it in terms of their response and reaction to it. But I got a comment from somebody, right? So right at the early stages of the book, I think it's in the first or second chapter, I'm describing 20 years ago being a rep and flying all over the world. And one of the things I would do is unbuckle your belt. You're in level flight, right? And you go in the description of my story to the back of the plane because there was windows at the back, like by the galley. And I think in the book I described it as being a fire exit, like a door that's got nothing around it, no chairs or anything, that you could walk up to and just look. So the reason I'm trying to describe that is because on an aeroplane, the windows are quite small and you've got to kind of look either side of the window to get an angle on the world below, if you will. So for that reason, if you're trying to do that from your chair with the window right next to you, you can't get a decent angle. You can't like look beyond the back of your chair. So like I say, that's how I'm explaining me looking over the world from, you know, just having a decent view, basically. Now, it isn't necessarily important to the story. It's just how I've remembered it. You know, I remember specific parts of specific journeys, especially over land. Like I remember flying over Russia once and doing exactly that, like going to the back of the plane, looking out the window that had no chairs in the way, and just looking through the window to get a good view. Now, what I'm describing in the book is me saying, I wish I could go higher because I understood the rhetoric, incorrect though it was, that at cruising altitude, you couldn't see the curve of the Earth. Now, obviously, notwithstanding that there's begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking Earth curve mathematics, you should be able to see Earth curve based on those maths derived from flat Earth measurements. But that was what I was telling myself 20 years ago when I was a rep. I was a devout baller and wanted to see the curve of the Earth, but couldn't, as I looked out below and recognised how flat it all looked. Now, that's not a proof of anything. That's just my observation from a window. The comment I got under the launch video from whatever it was, Thursday of last week was, I've read your book and I understand how fire escapes work in planes. And there are no fire escapes at the back of the planes. They're only over the wings. I'm like, are you serious? This chapter's explaining how Earth's measured flat, and your nitpick is to say that my suggestion that I went to the back of the plane and looked out of a quote-unquote fire escape is wrong based on your dweeby understanding of planes from 20 years ago. I'm like, are you serious? That's the bit of the story you want to pick flaw with? Me saying that the back window I was looking through wasn't actually a fire escape. And now I'm thinking about this, and I must admit at the time when I read this, I'm like, oh, I gotta be honest, maybe it wasn't a fire, but who gives a shit? It's like, really, that's the bit of the story you want to nitpick over? Not the flat Earth measurements, not the altitude from sea level, not the straight and level flight, none of that stuff. Just, planes don't have fire escapes at the back of them. Like, really? You kidding?
Typical. Absolutely.
Yeah, because then you're a liar, right? And they can see he's not even telling the truth. That's all they're trying to do.
Regardless of I don't have a particular interest in planes, right? The aeroplane themselves doesn't have any fascination for me. Now, it is amazing that we can do it at all, but the part of the story that's relevant is me looking through a window. Now, the reason it's stuck in my mind, because I remember doing it. I remember going, I can't really get a good angle out of this window I'm sat next to. I know I'll walk to a different window that doesn't have any chairs in the way. That's my mentality when I'm on the plane. I just want to have a good look out the window. Now, given that I spent a considerable amount of time doing that, as I say, I used to really enjoy looking out the window while most people had their headphones on, and they're looking at the back of the bleeding headrest at some absolutely god-awful quality movie that you could barely hear over the sound of the engines, with horrible lines and low resolution, but admittedly a bang-up-to-date movie that probably wasn't even out at the cinema yet. You know, the up-to-date nature of it was brilliant. But I had no interest in watching crappy movies. Like, as a representative that was dealing with movies and audio equipment and going to the studios that produce these things, like THX and wherever, Sphere Studios, I'm going to these places that produce the music and produce the movies. So some crappy music and some crappy movie on the back of a headrest held no interest for me. I was driving or flying to get to somewhere to actually talk to people who were producing the stuff. So, like I say, I had to find other interest avenues while killing huge amounts of time on aeroplanes. And looking out the windows that didn't have any obstruction was how I remember it. Now, could somebody say, well, no, there definitely is an inconsistency with how the planes are manufactured in terms of their fire escapes? I'd go, okay. Does this have any relevance? Does it matter? But that is what they've nitpicked. You've spelt weather incorrect. Instead of WH, you've put WE. You're like, okay, yeah, that's definitely wrong. And there's a comma in the wrong place in the first paragraph. You're like, I read it through, and at first I'm like, no, that's how I speak. But then I ran it past my wife, I ran it past the publisher. I'm like, do you think this comma's in the right place? They're like, no. I'm like, okay, fine, get rid of it. I'll eat that error. What? Weather being spelt wrong, a comma in the wrong place, and someone suggesting that I don't have a dweeby knowledge of how planes are constructed. Like, so no issue with the flat earth measurements then. The main point of the book, just whether or not I've got a good dweeby understanding of how aircraft 20 years ago were built.
Yeah, they're reading the book with a bias. But I understand what you're talking about, because when I first flew, that's the main thing. Once we got up and we were leveled off at a certain altitude, I was just looking out to see the curve, right? Talking 2000.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for me, it was mid-2000s, like 2006, something like that.
Yeah, me was exactly the year 1999. So, yeah, I was looking to get high enough so I could see this wonderful curvature that we had.
Yeah. Shout out to somebody's at the super chat. Let's just have a quick look. Shout out to Crystal Clear. He says, Globe Earthers see the curve from the beach, but not from the plane. Must be magic. Yeah, I mean, that is very old school rhetoric. First and foremost, thank you very much for the super chat. Really appreciate the support. But that rhetoric requires you ignore that the derivative curve they're suggesting is based on measuring Earth flat in linear miles. The drop over the distance, like 8 inches per mile squared. So you're going to need to measure a mile flat and linear as per every scale on every map ever produced that was useful. So you need flat Earth measurements to make this inference, to then say you can't see the curve that's derived from this flat Earth drop over distance at altitude. Altitude being from sea level. Yeah. So rather than saying I can't see curve, recognize that you're at a horizontal flight level, parallel with surface level. At which point you're not concerned with how much curve you're not seeing when running flat Earth measurements of height and distance through a curve calculator, because you've got flat Earth measurements of height and distance to be going along with that are based on measurements of Earth being flat. Thank you for the super
I'm
chat,
just reading through the chat, and I got a Wake Soul saying, great that the book was released. Now we hope to have Nathan on to talk about this book.
Yes, I'll happily go on. I'll drop you an email. If you can email me, I'll definitely add you to the email out list. Speaking of which, that's what we did over the weekend. So I was a little bit frustrated with AI. So we went through the process of producing a mail out, like a press release for the book. And I've got maybe 100 strong list of people to actually contact. I don't know, half a dozen or more of them have already been contacted to preemptively say, if they're relatively close or have got a good relationship with me, or asked that the book had been, out on the day that it came out. But my wife and I put together a press release. And I said to her, there was a suggestion that I could have put the book through Grammarly, but didn't. Might it be an idea to try and put it through Grammarly? So my wife put this press release through AI, and what came back was a wishy-washy, how can I describe it? Sort of weaselly suggestion that what the book contained was my inferences and suggestions, or I think it put it in the term perspective, the author's perspective. And I heard this and I was furious. I'm like, it's taken statements of absolute fact and rearranged them to make them into wishy-washy, weaselly, that's a lot of W's, suggestions and inferences. And I was like, this is crap. I want people who get my press release to know that what I'm detailing is absolute fact. You know, when I detail how heliocentrism is functional and how flat Earth is measured for it, those are based on measurements, not on my perspective on things. But that's how AI re-engineered the press release. So I'm like, okay, well, fine, we'll go back and use the original, rejig it based on the kind of layout and how it appears from the AI regeneration of the press release, and just make it back into our own, and then it'll go out. So that's what we'll be doing this week, sending out press releases to people about the new book. But that's been written now, so we've actually written the press release, which is good.
That's funny because last week on one of the shows, I remember Rob saying that to you. Why don't you just say these are your opinions? So that's the way AI wants to spin it, huh? It's not an absolute fact how we measure it. These are just how the author sees it and his perspective.
Exactly. Exactly. And I was fuming. Like I said, I'd asked my wife to go and do it, and I'd gone downstairs, come back up, and she's like, right, this popped out. Head Rob, as you were being talked about.
Oh, shit. I'm sorry. I didn't know I was unmuted, man. I'm not by my mic. Thank you for having me. Oak Doggy Dog and Neil C. for Shizzle. I want to say, where are the measurements, Nathan? I read the book 10 times. I can't find one measurement in there. Do you have one?
Azimuth is mentioned multiple times.
Yeah, a measurement. I don't care about the method. I care about the measurement. Where are the measurements, Nathan?
Did you not hear what I just said?
Yeah, I don't care about the method. I care about the measurement. Where are the measurements?
Azimuth.
Not a measurement. That's a method. Where are the measurements?
You think
180 fucking page book. 180 page book, not one measurement.
Let me know when you're done.
180 page book, not one measurement. I don't want to hear about how you get them. I don't want to hear about methods or azimuths or Earth measured flat or all things are flat. I want the equation, the measurement that you use. You did not demonstrate. You did not demonstrate.
Any of the measurements
now you're rubbing through me. Now you're rubbing through me because I know you're in the hard place now. You're in the hard place now. Where are the measurements? You say you derive these measurements from a technique. You say you derive them. Now you're talking through me because I can't hear my echo, so I know I'm muted on his side
like
now.
Distance or azimuth.
You're
like
a dick. You're a dickhead coward. You're a dickhead coward.
Or how distances work. Yeah, those are the fundamental foundations.
We're not talking about that. I don't care about that. I specifically said we're not talking about
measurements. That's the end of the discussion.
I don't care.
Is when you want to use flat Earth measurements.
You're in the hard place. There
which
are
means
no
that you have to relinquish your flat Earth measurements. Kind of like saying those aren't the surface. When you've asked me about drop over distance, suddenly the distance isn't the surface. Oh, it would only be a curved surface.
I'll tear you up, Nathan, every day, twice on Monday.
Then their measurements of Earth's curved surface.
You're in a hard place now. You got to mute Rob. You can't handle Rob.
I don't want flat Earth measurements. I don't want to hear it. Just give me the measurements.
As I serve you up.
Do you have an editor?
English muffin. You're an English muffin. Oh, here comes the echo. So I guess we're back now. If we hear the echo, we're back. That means he unmuted us and lets us talk on his show. So Nathan Oakley, I asked you again. I'm going to say it again. Here comes another cuck. Nathan, you say it. Earth is measured flat. These are the measurements. Azimuth. Okay, fine. We don't want that. We don't want to know the techniques. We want to see where you took those measurements. Now you're talking through me. We want to see where did you show us how it works. Now I'm muted again.
Elevation angle.
Because he's a coward.
I don't care about now I'm muted again. Now I'm muted again. What you mean is you want to mute me pointing out that you don't like these
elevation angle. Show us how you did it. You can't just say the elevation angle and that solves everything. You have to show us how you got the elevation. You have to show us where you did
elevation angles. They're perfectly fine to become derivative values of curves and arcs around you in a ball format.
Yeah.
Yeah, then they're fine.
Oh my God!
What does altitude mean? What's elevation actually mean? That means it's measured from the surface, like a flat line along the surface. Then they're not from the surface.
You're a fucking scamming cunt.
No, you're going to swear at me. Again, Rob's spurging out over the top of me. I'm not going to tolerate that on my live show, Rob. where suddenly I'm being called a scammer. No, I put to you flat Earth measurements, you tell me I don't want to hear it, and then suddenly I'm being called a scammer. Outrageous. Anybody else?
Nathan, they want the length and the width of the Earth. That's what they mean when they say show us the measurements.
All measurements of Earth ever made are made in horizontal linear distance values called miles or kilometres. Go and look at a map scale. We've surveyed every smegging inch of Earth with horizontal linear miles and kilometres. What, now you want me to be a cartographer and give you the overall value? Well, it might be more. Like in our recent history, we extended the maps. Like you guys have just celebrated 250 years, right? Before that, do you think you were on the maps? No, nobody knew you existed. Then you were discovered as a land? Yeah, and then colonised? Yeah, that was an expansion of the known territories. Now, if we take the bullshit heliocentric timeline of millions of years, then in a fraction of that timeline, we very recently expanded the known territories. So it might happen again. So when you say, well, how big's the flat Earth? Well, we measure it flat, and we've got maps, and they've recently increased in terms of the amount of land on them. So to suggest that won't ever happen again, why? Because you've got a ball that you've derived from these flat Earth measurements? It doesn't mean anything.
Nathan, are fucking centimeters and inches linear measurements as well? How the fuck do you measure your fat ass, bro? How do you measure your fat ass?
Are we back to this? Are you going to measure my fat ass with a tailor's tape?
It's linear, you dumbass. You're a fucking dumbass. Linear doesn't mean horizontal.
On the map, linear.
Linear
with
means
scale.
increments. Regular
That's not
increments.
a tailor's tape being ran around my fat ass, my friend.
Dude. Measure your fat ass with linear measurement.
He's in pain.
Oh, do you want to spurg out a bit more, Daz? Go ahead.
Well, you're so dumb, dude. Linear doesn't mean flat. Fucking dumbass.
It's not bending. Distances aren't bending.
1 foot is curved.
On a scale, the scale is linear. It's straight. It's not bent. Now, if you're going to describe
linear just means increment, regular increment. It doesn't mean
describe drop with respect to the measured horizontal
how do you
linear distance.
How do you measure your pants? What are the size of your pants?
How do I measure my pants? Did he say? Are you serious? Yeah. Nobody's measuring Earth with a freaking tailor's tape. You can tell.
Oh my God! Balls beach balls.
No.
We're not measuring Earth with a tailor's tape, you dumbass.
Fucking dumbass.
Right, no, we're not measuring Earth with a tailor's tape. Third time. We measure Earth for maps, horizontal and linear. Third time.
So are you telling me you can't do meters,
horizontal linear miles, not with a tailor's tape?
Meters on
you couldn't derive drop for the hills.
Answer me, Nathan. Can you measure curved surfaces with meters?
You're measuring...
Can you measure
so we're surveying curves, hills, with respect to the... This is the fourth time I've said this. It's like why male models? Yeah, why has it got to be a horizontal distance? We've got tailor's tapes. Yeah, we have, when you're measuring my fat ass with them. But when we measure Earth, we measure it in the horizontal for miles. And if we've got curve, that's hill.
No, of course not, because on a hill, you can still measure meter and kilometer distance on a hill. You fucking dumbass.
No, they're measured drop over distance. Obviously, this man has no familiarity with surveying. You're not familiar with rise over run, my friend?
Bro, it doesn't matter. You can still measure kilometers, miles, from the bottom of a hill to the top of the hill to the other side of the hill.
Rise over run.
It does not matter.
The rise, that's the vertical, is with respect to the horizontal mile measurement, not made with a tailor's tape, not my fat ass.
No, it's not.
A horizontal linear measurement of miles. Flat. So you can derive the rise from the run. That's surveying. Hello! We survey with rise over run. The run is horizontal miles. You stupid dipshit. Hello, Dazza, you dumbo. Rise over run much, dickhead. Cat got your dumbass tongue.
He's Googling.
Probably. Googling rise over run. Meanwhile, Earth is surveyed flat. If you're going to describe curve, that's hills and valleys deviating from a horizontal datum, end quote, ball believers. That's the measurement of the horizontal plane we use for the 0 point to describe vertical deviations with respect to it. That's horizontal linear miles ascribed to a datum called sea level. That's the run in the rise over run we survey every inch of Earth with. Hello, Dazza, you Dumbo. Well, obviously he's got nothing to say.
Can be measured on any point on the surface of a ball. It does not matter.
Point.
It does not matter. Whatever, everything that you're saying is a lie. Your book is
having
a
no
sham.
part higher
You're
or
a
lower than another
scammer,
part.
and I don't even understand why people even listen to you. You're a fucking dumbass.
Describe level with 1 point, you dumbass. Dumbass.
Gonna be Google.
Dumbass, you can't describe level with a single point, you clown. Has he run away? Yes, he has. That's what you do. Again, if you want to reduce a bull-believing crackhead to the point where he's saying level can be a single point, buy my book, Measured Flat. You can read all about it in the chapter called Earth Curve. Anybody else? If not, we're going to round out. And know that was. Any more for anyone?
Where are we today anyway, Nathan?
Worldwide debates.
Okay.
Any more for any more? Well, I'll do one last plug for my book. So check it out. There is a link in the info box, or hopefully, if I've updated the info box correctly, I should assume I've done so. If not, I'll add it to the comments after the fact. But hopefully, there's a link to Measured Flat by Nathan Oakley in the info box below this live stream, and indeed after the fact once it's been uploaded, so you can watch it as a replay. So please check it out, buy a copy. It's $14.97 for anybody who wants to purchase a copy. So the link to that is in the info box, along with a link to become an affiliate. So if you did want to also make money from selling the book by putting it below your video, if you're a YouTube videographer or any other videographer or any other publisher of any particular means, then you can also sell Measured Flat as an affiliate. So there is a link to the affiliate program also linked below this video. With that, I'll say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G Plus panels for making today's live show possible. If you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Premiering Streams, then stay tuned as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, though, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So another massive thank you to today's Discord and G Plus panels for making today's live show possible. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.
Is that the end of the show? It's fun listening to that. Stand and deliver there, yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Garfield, Roosevelt, all those high schools, bro. They're all ghetto.
Microphone, hot mic.
My bad. What's up, George? My bad.
No, you're good. You're good. Just let you know. Now Nathan is back on FED.
All right, I'll see y'all there. He muted all these people. Like, they need to be unmuted before someone leaves.
He's not back in FED, is he? I mean, he's gone back to the flip side.
Yeah, you're right. Flip side, yeah. Oh, I'm free! Free at last! Free at last! Thank Mods Almighty, we're free at last. We didn't even ask the main important question. Why are there cows on the cover?
He was
What do the
waiting
cows
for
have to do?
questions about the book, but he didn't want to answer yours.
I know, because he's
somebody
scared,
else
dude.
to ask him. You'll have to get somebody else to ask him.
He's scared of the blue mask, dude. I'm telling you, dude. I'm a thorn in this guy's side.
Dave, I have a question for you. What is his, I mean, I know in mathematics is what we're talking about shit. But when you bring things like gray circle routes or these sort of things, what is his excuse?
Nothing. It's a flat direction. It's a
south.
flat direction. That's it. It's a flat direction. South is a flat direction. Next question. Earth is the equator is a flat line. There is no end game. There is no answers, dude. This is the conundrum we're in. We never get answers. We just try to put them in a hard place.
If I go by his flat south is flat measure, which that's the new definition even for me. Anyways, things like if you go the Vendée Globe race, which is happening in around Antarctica. If I go by his bullshit, the circumference would be, I don't know, 60, 80, 90, God knows what would the size would be, is what I mean. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm just asking.
yeah, we hear you, bro. I know. We understand, dude. This is the whole point. When presented with these facts that contradict his mantra, he literally will just server mute you, Fundy mute you, and talk over you. There is not one measurement. 180-page book that took the endless amount of time. I could write that book in a day or two and probably proofread it in a day. This is ridiculous. This book took like so long to get out. All it is Quantum Eraser's book that's been edited to change a few things so it's not the same. It's the same exact book. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever. It's like reading a comic book for like 3-year-olds. This is dumb. There's not the book is called Measured Flat. and yet there's no measurements in the book. This is insane. There's no measurements. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is just insanity.
Let me ask a question to Ham. What's a circle?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Okay.
You claim the great circle route. What's a circle? What's a circle?
Okay. What is your next question?
What is a circle?
What is your next question? Great circle route has nothing to do with the circle. Circle 360 degrees.
You said it's a great circle route.
We call it
What
a
is a
great circle
circle?
route. It has nothing to do with the circle in that sense. I don't know what you're
So
asking.
it's not a circle
Please clarify
then.
your question. It's called great circle route. A destination. It close in the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line. Do we agree?
So is a circle 2D or 3D?
Do we agree?
Is a circle 2D or 3D?
On a circle on a piece of paper is a 2D. But again,
so
it's
a circle. But it must be 2D to be a circle.
My question,
it must be 2D to be a circle. Hello? It must be flat.
No.
To be a circle, it must be flat. It's a circle, 360 degrees.
It's absolutely absurd, dude.
Wow.
Then how can
you guys failed the
geometry? How can a circle be
geometry?
Then how can a circle be a straight
you guys
line, buddy?
2D with 3D.
No.
Okay. Again, we're talking about something completely different. The shortest distance between two paths on a let's say flat piece of paper would be.
It's a straight line, yes.
But then on a sphere, it's even though it
What-
looks like straight
what
line, if you look,
sphere?
it's the greatest.
They're never gonna let us get anything off in here, dude.
What
They just
sphere?
talk over us.
The
What
sphere is
sphere?
the thing that's proved.
Whatever, dude. No, we're not. The sphere has been proven. You're trying to prove flat Earth. This is ridiculous.
No, flat Earth is
This
the
is
default.
absurd.
It's
No,
a,
it's
it's a
not
horizontal
default.
plane of
It's not
reference.
default.
Yes.
Says who?
It's not
Says who?
default.
Says who? Says who? It's not the default for anybody on Earth
Yeah,
except a
that's
bunch
what
of
the map
goofballs on the internet.
shows.
No,
That's
it's
what the map
not. It's
shows.
not.
70%
No.
of the surface is water, so it must be flat.
Really? So water's flat now? Then if water's flat, then how are tides higher and level around the if
Yeah,
tides are, if
well,
water hold on,
water is
fuckface.
flat.
Hold on, fuckface. If water's flat, then why are there different heights of the sea around the world? If it's all flat and level across the whole planet.
Why is it called sea level?
You don't answer a question with another question. Answer the question. I just asked you a question. If sea is level, then why is it different around the world? Just answer the question. You can't do it because you're a
It's not different
clown.
around the world. The tides is not
this
different
guy
around
just
the
said sea
world.
level is not different.
There are tides, yes.
Okay.
There is a mean. There is a mean, which is an average point, which is a horizontal plane, a mean.
Okay, fuckhead. You just said it yourself. Why would you need an average if it's all the
dry
same?
lands, all the dry lands,
Why?
all the dry
Why
lands
would you
is
need?
measured.
Why would you need an average if it's all the same? You just contradicted yourself. You wouldn't need an average if it's all the same. Think logically.
Because
You're just thinking. You're
there's
trying
waves,
to think faster
man.
than your brain can fucking
Yeah,
think. You're
my
trying to
God.
talk faster. No, you're not going to get away from this. You just said the sea level's the same. We can prove it's not. Sea level changes all around the world. And if I have water at one end,
is the same.
if I
No,
have,
the height of a mountain doesn't change
if
3
I
times a day.
have,
No,
if I have
you're
water
wrong.
level at one
height
end
of
of
a
the pool
mountain-
that's higher
The
than the
height,
other end,
the
then the
height
water's
of a
not
mountain
level.
doesn't change throughout the
No,
day.
there's nothing. You're avoiding it.
The
You're not
height
even
of a mountain.
addressing
You're
the
not listening,
question.
are
You're
you?
not addressing
You're
it.
just not
You're not
listening.
addressing it. You're not addressing. There's no rumpusing. I'm keeping you on
I am
point.
addressing.
If
The
water
height
is
of a
flat and
mountain
level,
doesn't
if
change
water's, I don't
throughout
care
the
about the height
day.
of a mountain. I don't care about the height of a mountain. I want to
Well,
know. You said water's flat and level. If water's flat and level, then why isn't the same level and flat all around the world? You can't answer that, so you're doing this. You're doing this. You got nothing, Georgie boy. You got nothing. You're gonna float down here. You're gonna float. Yeah. Okay. Median sea level, which is what, an average, right? So if there's an average, that means it's not the same, right? And if it's not the same, that means it's not level, right? Because if I have water higher at one end
The
of my
average is the
bathtub than the
same.
other,
The
why are
average
you
is the
talking?
same. That's why the height of the mountain
It
doesn't change.
Okay. You wouldn't need an average if it's level. You silly son of a bitch.
It's level in the grand scale of the world, silly boy.
Oh, grand scale of the world, silly boy. Well, first of all, that's a bunch of nothing. That's incoherent babble, pseudo talk. You mean nothing. This is what happens,
level.
You guys have to go off into this National Enquirer shit. You're speaking like you're a National Enquirer
local
article.
sea level. It's called sea level.
That goes local. I don't care what it's called.
It's not called local sea level.
Level
it's sea
is
level.
not flat. I don't care what it's called.
Yes,
it's not
it's
flat.
called level.
Water is not flat.
It's called level.
Water's never flat. Ever. Ever.
Pascal's principle.
Principle. Okay, cool, man. You know a couple TikTok keywords that mean nothing. You don't even know what you're saying. You're literally just saying words and hoping that it's going to do something. Have you ever heard about
Pascal's principle?
I don't care. I don't care.
You don't care. It's a different story.
Anything.
That's you being ignorant.
I don't need to care. No, because it has nothing to do with the argument. You said water's level, and I'm telling you, if the water is higher on the other side of the Atlantic than it is on our side, the water is not level. You can't have higher water on one side and lower on the other and call it level. That's not reality. That's not logic. That's not anything. I don't need to know anything about anything to know that that is true in reality. You can't have one side higher than the other and it be level, right? That's not how things work, right? You guys argue this all the time. But now when it comes to water, we can point out that water is not level. You want to do this. You want to deflect, obfuscate, run away. This is insanity. You know goddamn well what I'm saying. You're telling me water has a median sea level, which means that it's taken on an average throughout the day in that position. So therefore, the water in that position changes. If the water in that position is going higher and lower on one end and not on the other end, that water isn't level and flat. It's just basic understanding of anything. A moron could get this. You do get it, but you don't want to answer that. Show me it on the horizon in a lab coat with a plumb bob, bitch. Cunt. There ain't no one in here anyways to argue with.
Yeah, I changed the device. I've run out of battery on the other one.
Yeah, okay, Georgie. You people are weird, dude. You guys got to get lives, dude. This shit's lame as fuck. This is the lamest shit ever, bro. Arguing about things that
we are
arguing about horizontal.
Yeah, you got nothing. Yeah, you got nothing,
yeah,
dude.
I agree with.
Yeah. You haven't measured horizontal. You haven't laid horizontal. You're just retarded, bro. I mean, that's all there is to it. Good luck in life, Georgie Porgy.
you.